The Gnome Kids' Magical Adventure. One beautiful sun-kissed morning, the Gnome family's cozy home was filled with the warm, comforting smell of oatmeal porridge. Lucas, a mischievous 7-year-old with a grin as wide as a sunrise, and his 5-year-old sister, Elsa, with bouncy pigtails, sat at the wooden table. Lucas, his spoon clinking against his bowl, looked at his dad and asked, "Dad, can we go on an adventure today? A real one, with a map and everything?" Dad, a strong builder with kind eyes, smiled and put down his own spoon. "Behind the Green Mountain, there is a magical forest," he said, his voice as steady as a rock. "It's a place where secrets whisper in the trees, and the river rocks giggle with laughter. It's a place where magic is woven into every leaf and stone, a perfect playground for brave gnome kids like you." The kids' eyes sparkled with excitement. They quickly and kindly finished their porridge, their tummies warm and full, and ran to their rooms to pack their tiny backpacks with juicy berries, cheese, and fresh water. Meanwhile, outside, their mom, a beautiful gardener with a gentle heart, had already fed and prepared their ponies. She brushed their soft manes until they shone and gave each of them a carrot for the journey. Lucas and Elsa burst out of the door, their laughter echoing through the air. They ran to their mom and gave her big, warm kisses. "Remember, kids," Mom said softly, her hands cupping their faces, "be kind on your journey. Be kind to the forest, the river, and all the creatures you meet. Mom, we promise." Lucas and Elsa said in unison, their voices filled with sincerity, "We're the kindest gnome kids in the world." With a final hug, the kids hopped onto their ponies, their hooves gently trotting on the dewy grass. They started their ride towards the Green Mountain, a towering peak covered in lush emerald trees. The path was sometimes steep and winding, but their ponies were strong and sure-footed. As they climbed, they saw a grumpy-looking boulder blocking their way. Lucas, remembering his dad's strength, tried to push it, but it wouldn't budge. Elsa, however, noticed a tiny, delicate flower growing from a crack in the rock. "Maybe it's not grumpy, Lucas, maybe it's just sad," she said. She gently watered the flower with a few drops from her water bottle, and as if by magic, the boulder softened and rumbled, slowly rolling to the side to let them pass. They giggled, feeling a sense of pride and accomplishment. As they got past the mountain, a new world unfolded before them. The air grew thicker with a sweet, earthy smell, and the sunlight seemed to shimmer in a more golden hue. The magical adventure had begun. They found themselves at the edge of a part of the forest they had never seen before. The trees here were ancient and wise, their leafy branches stretching out like long green arms, whispering secrets to each other in a gentle rustling sound. "Listen," whispered Elsa, "the trees are talking to us." They listened closely and heard a soft hoo, hoo, coming from high above. They looked up and saw a friendly, sleepy owl with big round eyes perched on a branch. The owl, sensing their kind hearts, swooped down and landed on a low branch. To hear the forest secrets, the owl hooted softly. "You must listen not with your ears, but with your heart. The wind carries the stories of the world, and the rustling leaves are the forest's gentle whispers." The kids listened, closing their eyes and feeling the breeze on their faces. They heard the buzzing of busy bees, the gentle trickle of a distant stream, and the happy chirping of birds. The owl, pleased with their attentiveness, then showed them a secret patch of the most beautiful, softest moss they had ever seen. "This is the forest's cozy blanket," the owl hooted. Lucas and Elsa carefully gathered some of the moss, promising to make new, comfy beds for their ponies back home. Next, their journey led them to a wide river that sparkled in the sunlight. It was time for their favorite game, rock hopping. They started leaping from one smooth stone to the next, just like they had done with their parents, but this time, something magical happened. Every time they landed on a rock, it would let out a soft, joyful giggle. "Ha ha! That tickles," a rock would seem to say, its surface vibrating with laughter. The kids quickly realized these were giggle stones, and they were very, very ticklish. They spent the whole afternoon laughing and playing, trying to find the most ticklish giggle stone. The sound of their happy laughter traveled far, floating on the wind all the way to their parents' home, who smiled, knowing their kids were safe and having a wonderful time. As the sun began to set, painting the sky in soft shades of orange and pink, the kids rode their ponies back through the meadow. The air was getting cooler, and they were starting to feel a bit tired. Just then, they looked up at the sky and noticed that a few of the stars seemed to have fallen into their flowery meadow. They were not stars at all, but tiny, glowing fireflies who had lost their way. Elsa and Lucas, with their gentle hands, carefully gathered the fireflies in a small empty jar from their backpack. They knew just what to do. With the help of one of the kind walking trees, they climbed to the very top of their hill. They opened the jar, and with a soft whoosh, the fireflies flew out, their little lights twinkling and dancing a happy thank you dance before twinkling away to join their friends in the night sky. By now, it was late. Lucas and Elsa realized how tired they were. They were about to start their slow ride home when they heard a familiar sound. Whoosh, whoosh, it was Bumblewing, the friendly dragon, flying towards them. The dragon, his scales shimmering in the moonlight, landed gently beside them. "Hello, my little friends," Bumblewing said, his voice as warm as a campfire. "I heard your laughter from my home on the other side of the big lake, and saw your fireflies dancing in the sky. I thought you might be tired." "Oh, Bumblewing, we are," said Elsa, her voice full of relief. "We had the most amazing adventure, but we are so ready to be in our beds." Lucas nodded, his head already starting to droop. "Of course, my dear friends," Bumblewing said with a wink. "Hop on with your ponies, and we'll fly home together." The kids, with a little help, guided their ponies onto Bumblewing's back, and with a gentle beat of his wings, they lifted into the night sky, soaring over the whispering forest and the giggling river stones. Mom and Dad were waiting outside their rock home, a warm campfire glowing in the yard. As Bumblewing landed softly, Dad walked over to the dragon and whispered, "Thank you, my friend, for looking after the kids today. I felt so safe knowing you were there to watch them." Then, all of them, the Gnome family and Bumblewing, sat by the campfire. Lucas and Elsa, no longer tired, excitedly told their parents and their dragon friend everything about their day. The grumbling boulder, the whispering trees, the giggling rocks, and the dancing fireflies. It was the best day ever, but now, it was truly time for a well-deserved rest. Bumblewing gave a warm smile, winked at the family, and flew away into the starry sky. The family waved goodbye, watching him until he was just a tiny sparkling dot in the darkness. Inside their cozy rock home, Lucas and Elsa snuggled into their beds, their minds replaying all the wonderful moments of their journey. They had the most vivid dreams of their adventure, flying with Bumblewing and making new friends in the forest. And Mom and Dad slept soundly, feeling so safe and grateful for having such good friends like Bumblewing, and the most wonderful and brave kids in the world. The end.